friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would talk you through that there are different genres that I prefer to consume in different formats of media. So I've been trying to come to an understanding of why I prefer certain genres depending on the format that I receive it in. So whether that be fantasy, for example, which I will love and absolutely consume in book format. Whereas I never normally gravitate towards fantasy in a TV show or film format. And I'm just trying to come to an understanding of why that is and why my brain prefers these different genres in different formats. And I've tried to come up with a few theories as to why I'm like this. But I'm not a psychologist and I don't quite know why it is. So if you do have any insight, I would love to know. And if you have this thing where you prefer to consume different genres depending on the format of media, then I would love to know. Starting with fantasy, this is something that I love in books. And the reason I think this is that I love to just escape into a magical world and discover a magic system and just explore that. So even when I am not reading the book, I am thinking about the magic system and its limitations and its abilities, and if I had that magic, how I would use it, and just living the world of the book in my own head and imagination outside of the plot. Whereas I think when I see a fantasy TV show or film, and I do watch fantasy TV shows and films, like I have really enjoyed Lord of the Rings in film format. And the same with Harry Potter, The Vampire Diaries. I do watch fantasy on TV and film, but it's not what I gravitate towards. And some of the reasons I was thinking of is that when it is shown to me on the screen, it stops my imagination from being able to develop that magic system in my head. And if it's a book that I've already read, then it doesn't necessarily match up to how I would have viewed it in my head and how I think the magic should work. It sort of restricts it to how they have imagined it, and that's different to what's in my head. So potentially it's that, or the limitations behind what we can do on the screen compared to how I'm seeing it. The other thing I can think of is that when reading, commonly in fantasy worlds there might be an epic battle or scenes of a more gory nature, and I don't mind reading those scenes. I love a big climactic battle sequence in a book, but I am not very good at watching gore or violence on the screen. I just don't like seeing people dying and limbs being cut off. So potentially those things influence me not picking fantasy TV shows. So then on the flip side, my preferred genres for the TV and film are rom-coms, and I never really gravitate towards contemporary books. So why is it that when you give me a rom-com in TV format, my brain's like, oh yes, love a rom-com, and I see it in a book and I'm like, oh, that sounds boring. And I haven't quite figured out why. The fantasy one, I've come up with a few reasons for why I think I'm like this, but for rom-coms I can't quite figure it out. So I was thinking, I can understand why I like them on the screen, that I like happy endings and I like easy to watch shows. And maybe what I gravitate towards in TV shows is the representation of myself in the characters, that a lot of the time, well, when I was in school, I was gravitating more towards TV shows and films that were set in schools. And now I'm an adult and I'm gravitating more towards people that are in the workplace and experiencing similar life situations to myself. And so maybe there's that relatability, and I don't get that so much in a fantasy TV show, film. But why would that affect me from picking up that form of genre in a book? And I don't have an answer. And the same with thriller detective TV shows and films, that I will gravitate more towards them in a film, and I enjoy when they have like that big board up in the police station where they're trying to put together the case and they're trying to figure it out, and I love seeing them try and figure it out, like in, say, Line of Duty or Luther. Like, I love those as TV shows, but I would never gravitate towards that as a book. But I can't figure out why I would not read that as a book when I love consuming that in TV. Part of me thinks that maybe it's because they don't provide the same level as escapism as fantasy, that rom-coms and thriller detective TV shows, they are set in our world and they're set in something that I know. So I'm not going away so much and thinking about the characters and the world, and that because I know the world, it's our world, so I'm not trying to piece together things outside of the book and the plot so much. That with fantasy I am living the magic in my head and exploring it still when I'm outside of the plot, whereas I can't do that so much with a rom-com, that you're just having the characters living their lives. If you have any insight, then please let me know. And I just thought I'd just throw this out there into the world, and I'd love to have a discussion on this topic with you. And if you have any of the same experiences or the same thoughts and feelings towards this, or if, for example, you love fantasy in film, TV show, whatever format, games. I'm not really a gamer, so I can't put loads of other formats into this. But if your genre preference is just the same across the board, because maybe that's what it is for a lot of people, I don't know. But yes, I'd love to have a discussion on this topic, so please put that in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!